How can I help you today?
Can we discuss about how to buy a house?
Certainly. Buying a house can be a big topic. Are you looking for general information about the process or something specific like understanding mortgages?
Okay, now let's discuss about buying a house in Japan. Do you have any information about that?
Buying a house in Japan involves some different factors compared to other countries. To give you the most helpful information, would you like me to look up details on the process or perhaps something specific like financing options?
Is it possible for a foreigner to buy a house in Japan?
Yes, it's generally possible for a foreigner to buy property in Japan. There might be some specific regulations or procedures to follow, but it's not typically restricted.
Okay, what are the conditions that?
The conditions can vary, but generally, you would need to have a valid resident status and a registered address in Japan. You would also need to meet financial requirements, such as proving income or having the necessary funds. Are you interested in the legal aspects or the financial aspects?
Financial aspects.
Financially, foreigners can usually get mortgages from Japanese banks, though there might be specific requirements or potentially limits on the loan amount. Some might also need a larger down payment. It's helpful to have a good credit history and clear financial documentation. Are you interested in learning more about the mortgage process in Japan?
Yes, please. Give the detail as much as possible, like what are the requirements, etc. Let give the detail as much as you can on the mortgage from Japan, this bank.
Certainly. For mortgages in Japan for foreigners, banks typically look at factors like your employment stability, income level, and credit history. Having a permanent residency status often makes it easier, but not always required. The down payment can range anywhere from 0% to 20%, depending on the bank and the loan type. The loan terms can last up to 35 years. Interest rates are generally low in Japan right now. Would you like to know about the documents typically required?
Yes, please give all the detail on the document.
For the documents, you'll generally need things like your passport and residence card, proof of income, such as bank statements or employment letters, and details about the property you want to buy. The bank may also need information about your current address and credit history. Would you like to know about specific types of proof of income that banks typically accept?
Yes, please.
Banks often accept employment certificates from your employer showing your position and income, as well as tax records such as your annual income report or tax slips. They may also want bank statements to see your regular income deposits. If you're self-employed, they may need more detailed financial documents. Are you thinking about the documents for a specific type of employment?
No, let's say that we have both wife and husband working at the same time, both people in the family working at the same time. That would help for the bank to consider our loan request.
Yes, having both spouses working can definitely help with the mortgage application. It shows a higher combined income, which can make you seem like a lower risk to the bank. It can also allow for a larger loan amount. Are you thinking about any particular type of mortgage, or just generally about the benefit of dual income?
No, I just think about the benefit of the loan, like how to get the loan approved by the bank and with the low interest rates and not too long to pay back to the bank.
Having two working spouses can definitely help with getting a loan approved and potentially with lower interest rates, as it strengthens your financial profile. To get a lower interest rate, banks often look at the loan-to-value ratio, which is the ratio of the loan amount to the property value. A larger down payment can lead to a lower LTV and potentially a better rate. For shorter repayment periods, you can generally choose from various terms, but remember that shorter terms mean higher monthly payments. Would you like to know about how to calculate the potential monthly payments?
No, let's just discuss about the condition to buy a house for more. Could you advise, is it good to buy a house in a city or a little bit far from city, in the countryside or on the natural, say park, for example? What are the conditions, to consider which is the beneficial, which is not to do, etc. Can you check on those points?
Choosing whether to buy a house in a city or further out depends on your individual needs and preferences. City homes are usually more convenient for work, shopping, and entertainment, but they tend to be more expensive and have less space. Homes further out might be more affordable and offer more space, but they could have longer commute times and less access to amenities. Living near a park or natural area can be a great benefit, offering fresh air and opportunities for recreation. Do you have a stronger preference for convenience or for more space?
No, I just want to know the infrastructure of Japan, for example. If I buy a house a little bit far from city, there is any public transportation, the school for the kid, the supermarket, for the daylight actually activity. So the school should not be too far away from home, and there is a public transportation like a bus, a train, a Shinkansen, for example, those conditions.
That's a great question. When considering where to buy a house in Japan, both city and rural areas have different infrastructure considerations. Cities typically have a wide range of public transportation options, like trains and buses, and are usually quite convenient for schools, shops, and hospitals. However, the cost of land and housing tends to be higher. In more rural areas, you might have less access to extensive public transportation, and amenities might be further apart, but housing costs can be lower, and you might find more natural surroundings. Are there any specific priorities you have for the place you'd like to live?
Yes, there must be public transportation, like bus or train, and a school. It is important for kid to go to school and not too far away. It's not a remote side. It a little bit far from the city, but it's quite connecting to the city, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I understand. You're looking for a location that's not directly in the city center, but still has good public transportation links to the city and readily available schools. Areas just outside the main cities often offer this balance. Would you like me to look up examples of such locations?
Yes, just give a few location.
Some good examples include areas just outside Tokyo, like parts of Chiba or Kanagawa prefectures, which have excellent train lines to the city center. Another option might be areas around Osaka and Kyoto, such as parts of Hyogo Prefecture, which also have good connections to the main cities. These areas typically have schools and shops within reasonable distance.
Okay, now just do the summarize for me to list all the condition for a foreigner to buy a house in Japan. And the second list will list all the requirement to get the loan from the bank.
Certainly. First, for a foreigner to buy a house in Japan, the main conditions are having a valid resident status and a registered address. Meeting financial requirements and providing necessary documentation is also important. Second, for a loan from a bank, the requirements include providing proof of income, such as employment certificates and tax records, bank statements, and information about the property you wish to buy. Having a stable employment situation and good credit history is also helpful. Did you have any further questions about these conditions?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, thank you very much.
Have a good day.